What's going on, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. In today's video, we're going to run through some recent news for Casper Network, some Casper Labs developments, and the native token CSPR. Alright, first up, the Casper price chart, no major changes. We have retraced a bit over the past few weeks. We're back up to the weekly pivot for 2024. We've seen other assets already retrace to the R1, the R2, and the R3. We've yet to get a major breakout. I believe when we see a breakout up to the R1, the fair value gap, or even the R3, it might be timed with some big news and people will think the news is the reason for the asset pumping, but a variety of assets have already done these retracements up to these levels, some of which have gone up to the March and April 2022 high. And this is just my personal opinion and how I read the market. This is never financial advice. I believe volume is rotating in the different assets in different orders, some of which are still in accumulation yet to even retest previous highs, whereas HBAR is another one that is broken out of accumulation. We've had different alts already retrace to much higher levels, such as those alts that started running last year, even 6 months back, and in that case, the trend is your friend. If it's already in a bullish trend, that trend has a better chance of going higher, especially as Bitcoin is pushing. So I'm interested in a lot of different alts still in accumulation yet to break out. So we have Casper on the weekly on the left-hand side, and we have HBAR on the right on the weekly time frame. So we've shared HBAR as a beautiful example of an alt taking out its previous highs, breaking out of accumulation, and it is right on the R3 today. Casper is right on the pivot with the R levels above. Now here's an example of algo on the left-hand side. So we got this first wave, came back down, back testing and holding the 21-week EMA right there and there, just like HBAR did. So HBAR has already reached the R2 and R3, whereas algo is just approaching the R1 today. We can compare the RSI down below, starting to pierce, and it does have its shot, whereas HBAR actually just kept running where the momentum was at an all-time high. Next up, so I uploaded this YouTube video of Recht Vojak interviewing the CEO of Casper Labs about 9 days ago, highlighting IBM, and I did put together a few bullet points just to highlight this interview. So friendly reminder, this is on IBM's blog or their website highlighting this first announcement, and Casper Network will be an embedded service in IBM's tech stack. And to quickly run through some of these bullet points before getting into other news. So this application was co-developed with IBM thanks to Sham. Sham is also active, and IBM is on Hedera's governing council. So he sees utility in enterprise-grade networks, specifically with public infrastructure or hybrid networks. So just like the hybridization of cloud infrastructure, when cloud and on-prem was offered, it absolutely led to bigger adoption, and the cloud market today is a $5 trillion market. And I believe it's going to be similar for enterprise-grade blockchain adoption coming together with AI, IoT, etc. So the Casper token CSPR is needed for all transactions on the public chain. Even with Casper 2.0 or Condor, Casper tokens are required to be locked up for a period to process any transactions. AI systems change context often, underlying LLMs or large language models, how it's parameterized, and data sets that are being used to train. So with any changes in the above context, these require transactions that are logged on the Casper blockchain. So what's the benefit of logging transactions on blockchain? They allow an audit path, version control, so you can actually revert back to the previous versions that were working if a new version actually stops working, and access across multiple parties. Beta customers have signed up, and this is in active development and does not have to wait for Condor or Casper 2.0. For Casper and IBM with Brave AI, or if they change the name with IBM's platform watsonx, they aim to have this product live in the market by Q3. And just like the blog, beta first quarter, and then later available more broadly in their channels and in the IBM Cloud Marketplace. So what I like about this is that Renal actually addressed this. What if enterprise customers don't want to hold the Casper token on their balance sheet because they need to process transactions? That's fine. There are two options. The enterprise customer themselves can actually take Casper and the token on their balance sheet to process transactions, and if they don't want anything to do with crypto, they can actually do this. The company can pay a SaaS fee or software as a service fee, just like typical SaaS applications and fees. So this fits neatly into the tech stack. So the company can just pay a SaaS fee in the US dollar, while IBM, Casper Labs, or a third party actually handles the Casper transactions on the back end. So this is important to understand. Every single transaction on the public network needs Casper, whether they just pay in the US dollar as a SaaS fee, which is what the majority of enterprise customers are comfortable with, because their jurisdiction might not have regulatory clarity, or if they actually want to take Casper on their balance sheet, they can do it. Bottom line, every public network transaction requires the Casper token. So having this option is great for other jurisdictions with uncertain regulatory environments, yada yada. AI governance is new, and this tech stack is yet to actually be defined, and there's not any major market leader for AI governance yet. So AI governance is not some multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. It's projected to be a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. But this is combining SaaS fees into AI and blockchain services. And cloud had this issue initially when it wasn't fully defined either. So why is AI governance super important, and how is blockchain so complementary for this? We explained version control, audit paths. We've already seen the Biden executive order, the EU AI Act, and the UK AI Act. So I think it's safe to assume there's probably going to be more regulatory mandates demanding AI governance in the future, and it's a general agreement that responsible use of AI and the ability to govern and track AI is incredibly important. In the past, we also mentioned that 90% of the applications that Casper Labs is building are hybrid. So what does that mean? It means there's a private chain and a public chain. And many retail investors misunderstand what hybrid networks are. It means it uses the public network. We've done videos highlighting private chains and public chains, but when you combine it into a hybrid network using the public chain, which is necessary, it has transparency and you have a second audit path. Next up, a week or two ago, Casper was listed on Bybit. I rarely talk about this exchange because I can't use it as a US resident, but we can see under CoinMarketCap going under the exchanges and spot. It is a top 3 tier 1 exchange. And per CoinMarketCap, we can see Bybit has more weekly visits than even Coinbase. So this is definitely a tier 1 exchange. We didn't see Casper shoot up to 7 cents, and if we did and it closed that fair value gap, then people would say it was because of the Bybit listing. So although Casper doesn't have any crazy trade volume like other assets in the hundreds of millions of dollars, I think the Bybit listing is a good thing, especially if we can get a Coinbase or a Binance listing in the future. I want connections to these market makers and better liquidity with the chance of a big bull run in the future. And anytime I tweet, I want to see listings for Casper, people say, oh, why do you care about Gemini or Binance US or anything like that? It's not because I use them or I care about the exchange, I care about the liquidity. The more bridges that are connected to Casper for on and off ramps or just trading, the more volume can flow, which for me is super important if we see Bitcoin go on a big run in the future. And I think the retail sentiment in the Casper community is going to be based off the price action over the coming weeks. If we come up to the R levels, people will be excited, feel a little more confident in Casper. If we come back down to the bottom of this triangle with, say, a Bitcoin crash, everyone's going to call it a scam. Casper's also been listed on Bit2Me, another exchange right here we can see accessible in over 80 countries and over 1 million users. And here's a 3-minute clip of Meta Parlikar, the C2 of Casper Labs, shared by Rector Wojak.
Working on some tokenization use cases right now. So OpenExo it's not a tokenization use case. OpenExo is migrating off of their EXOS chain onto Casper fully, right? So all of their users and wallets will be migrating over, and their EXO token will be expressed only on Casper. And so that's a migration that's underway right now. They will be fully live on mainnet, I believe, by the end of March. We're doing the wallet integration with CSPR.click. And so OpenEx, and I think that there's multi-signature requirements as well. So I'm very excited about, the multi-signature capability of Casper becoming a reality in CSPR.click. And then the other project is Equity Bricks. I've talked only briefly about Equity Bricks. They're launching also sometime in March. They are tokenizing real estate, right? They have a real estate tokenization platform, and it is all regulated securities, right? So this is a highly regulated space. Each regulated offering will be a CEP 18 on the Casper protocol, and it will be a fully custodial service, right? So anyone that wants to interact with those contracts will need to do so via the EquityBix platform, and they will have to go through KYC AML, right? And so it's not going to be a decentralized offering by any means, but it will be a tokenized offering. And later on, the intention is to have marketplaces, which will ultimately bring liquidity to investors in real estate assets, right? So this is an important, value proposition of tokenization, right? Of course, we've got Metacask is still very much live and functioning with their tracker platform. They have a private Casper instance as well as their public Casper instance. And they're still pushing forward with whiskey and barrel management and supply chain and track and trace in that space, right? Along with the tokenization of those whiskey assets, whiskey casks into bottles, right? So that's still very much something that's a real thing, right? And we've had multiple DeFi protocols launch as well, right? So you guys have talked about Paradiso that's launched, and then there's liquid staking that's been launched by Paradiso, and we've got the DEX that's now live on Casper with Casper Swap. Well, Casper Labs has decided that they wants to focus on track and trace solutions, right? So right now, the team is they're attending a lot of conferences and with the goal to get, pipeline and customers interested in building with us to the table, get them interested, get them excited, and then sign contracts with. So one of the things that we are pitching with them is this notion of scope 3 net zero emissions, right? And so scope 3 is a complicated problem to solve, where you have to track carbon emissions, not just in the manufacturing of your product, but in the transmission, both inbound and outbound, of raw materials, right? So your shipping costs, your indirect shipping costs associated with acquiring the raw materials for manufacturing, as well as the shipping costs for your finished product, your distribution centers to your third-party distribution, distribution warehouses, et cetera, et cetera. And so we've come up with, an product idea, and we're pitching it to customers and prospective customers, and let's see what we learn. And, as we learn things, we will, sign some deals and build some product.
All right, so Meta mentioned in that clip OpenExo. So we shared this back in August of 23, and Siemens is a major client with over 25,000 members. We've also shared in the past that Siemens is working with Casper, and we even had that gentleman from Casper, what's his name, Tobias, I forget his position, but he basically was just highlighting Casper Network.
Casper has really understood what enterprises and large corporates need. So they need transparency on blockchain emissions. They need kind of control over permission-based blockchains or private blockchains. And they need to tackle all the, let's say, compliance issues that you have in a large enterprise environment, just to mention anti-money laundering laws, export control and sanctions, whitelisting, KYC, and so on and so on. So therefore, I think Casper is well prepared for being a solution provider to large enterprises.
So back in August, they're a huge group, 17 countries, 67 global delivery centers. Companies they've helped: Visa, Accenture, we have Gucci, Airbus, Ameritrade, P&G, so some of the big four. Shout out to Mr. Casper. So I didn't actually see this on testnet until he pointed this out. We can see some test transactions on Casper's testnet, not the mainnet, as CEP18, so kind of like the ERC20 version on top of Casper. So OpenExo actively works with Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 customers. I also pulled up the official contract package just to confirm this is on testnet, and we can see right there. So at least we can see different deploy hashes on top of the testnet. And if you're interested, this is a 9-minute video shared by Michael Storr. He is one of the co-founders of Casper. He developed the Casper Live Block Explorer as well as the Casper Wallet. Going through a bunch of new news and updates for Casper Live, multi-sig technology, connecting ledgers so you can actually import it into your Casper wallet, similar to how people connect their ledger to MetaMask, so your coins or tokens are still held in cold storage and you're signing transactions manually using the ledger. And same thing goes for Wallet Connect, which is super popular. This is super important. Different NFT markets, talking about Beast League, the game that's going to be launching, going over the difference between Casper Click and Casper Cloud. So you can find a lot of documentation in the FAQs on the existing websites, or if you're following the official Twitter handles for Casper Live, Casper Wallet, Make, etc. And friendly reminder for anybody new to crypto, if you get a link for an airdrop, it sounds too good to be true, it likely is, and it's a scam. Do not click the link, do not connect your wallet, or you can lose all your funds. Provided you're using the official links from the actual websites, you should be completely fine. There's other features like securely importing your wallet using a QR code. I've used these. So I use the Casper Wallet on mobile right now, and what you do, as we can see in this video, let me scroll over. When you're actually on the wallet, you can come over right there to the browser tab, and then you can interact with all the different dApps. So just like how Hashback, you can interact with DEXs and different markets like that, you can do the same thing if you just scroll over to the browser tab right within the Casper Wallet. So you can connect to RocketX or any other types of applications. There's still a bunch more of news that we can get to in future videos, but we're going to finish up with this. We have linked in the top of the YouTube video description as well as my link tree, so if you're in my link tree, you can scroll down right there to tax tracking. We have 1 month left until the end of tax season. Make sure that you're filing your crypto taxes. You can use any platform you want, TaxBit, Coinly, etc. I use Coinly, so this is linked in the video description. Hope you enjoyed. Huge thanks to all to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.